Hey, how's it going?
I sent an invite. Thanks for coming up.
Hey, not a problem. How you doing today?
Pretty good. I see you've been in the chat this morning. You want to talk about the Bible?
Yeah, well, no, I actually see. I share the same views as you, so I'm not going to, like argue with anything, with that. But no, it's just from my experience. I've shared with atheists. I've shared with people that I've cursed God. There was this one time I was actually in Delaware, and we were sharing on the beach, not far from like Delmarva, Ocean City, Maryland, up in that area. And there was this dude that even claimed to be, I guess, what he called a sun god. And I'm pretty sure he was most likely high as a kite. But no, it's difficult, sharing with those kind of people. But you have to have patience because, yes, you have to be stern. Yes, you have to speak the truth, right? But it's one of those things where if you're not patient, people aren't really going to take in what you're saying because they're coming off as defensive, and those little seeds that you're trying to plant, they simply, it just doesn't stick.
Okay, so what do you mean by being patient?
Like, something that I used to do, especially whenever I first started sharing, is, for example, my family, right? My family's Pentecostal, and, I got away from that because I actually, started studying for myself, but they would get so worked up about sharing, what they believe and what I used to believe, obviously. And I would get worked up trying to share what I believe. And
What do you mean you get worked up?
By worked up, I mean, like, I guess when it comes to like being argumentative.
So did you get a Bible out? Did both of y'all get a Bible out and read the Bible?
Yeah. No, we did. And, now that I guess I'm being a little bit more patient with them. Some things are actually starting to stick. Like my sister actually finally got her to go to our church with me. I'm, Church of Christ also, and I finally got her to go with me. And I think things are, finally starting to stick. But they're there for a long time,
Here's what you're doing, brother. You're bringing up like I'm not patient with my family, referring to kicking people off TikTok who don't want to read the Bible. That's way different. That's not even close. So
well, see, I would agree with that. Sure, go ahead.
Do you do lives?
I don't. I wish I did.
Okay. So when you start doing lives, I want to watch you, and I want to see how long you continue to talk to dishonest people. And if you don't get anywhere, I'm just going to learn from that. That's all I'm asking. Is when you get up here and you start doing the lives, I'm going to watch you and I'm going to encourage you. I'm going to wish the best for you. But as soon as you come into an atheist who makes fun of you, or someone that says you're teaching false doctrine and they don't even read the Bible, I want to see how long you just sit there and go round and round and waste time before you kick them off.
Well, see, I've had those encounters in person, and sometimes they, it's just one of those situations where they're just like, hey, we agree to disagree, and they kind of go their separate ways. But I always try to leave things, I guess, not on a bad note. So hopefully, maybe something that I said, got planted, or maybe even if I do get the opportunity to share with them again, that something finally sticks. There was this one person. I think they were in, I can't remember whose room they were in. It was a live, and I sent them a private message. They had actually went up live with this other live streamer, and they were having a pretty heated, back and forth. And so I reached out to him on a private message after the live was over, started sharing with him and everything. And he was finally able to see the reason why we believe that baptism is absolutely, necessary. And
How did you do that?
well, it's just simply, I guess in that moment, it was so heated that, again, it kind of goes back to psychology and them just, not able to have that information sinking in, into, their cognizance or whatever.
Yeah, but did you just tell them, or did they read the Bible?
I had them to actually read it. Like, that's the thing.
Okay.
I guess I do kind of see where you're coming from, because, in these live streams, things get, heated, and they obviously don't open their Bible or, take in, stuff like that. But yeah,
John,
whenever
you're not going to You're
Go
not
ahead.
going to ever teach anybody who is already with their mind made up. So some ways on here, you're not seeing the picture of things because I'm not actually trying to teach the guest who comes up and just wants to argue and they want to read the Bible a little bit. They're not the target. The target is I put them on my YouTube channel, and then several hundred people watch it and they learn from the dishonest people, and then the honest people learn. See, really, have you ever heard of predestination?
Oh yeah, Calvinist. Oh my goodness.
No, but I'm talking about there's a biblical predestination.
Okay.
Yeah. In Matthew chapter 5,
Hold on, let me open it up. Give me 1 second here.
verse 3 is one of those characteristics. No one will go to, you have to be predestined. That means predetermined person. The characteristic of a predetermined person is Matthew 5:3. Let me read it. It says, "Blessed are the poor in spirit." The poor in spirit are the people who realize they need God and His Word. No one will ever come to the truth unless you have a characteristics to be a poor in spirit, meaning that you want to do what God says no matter what. And so that's the way I look at now that as I've gotten older, because I used to do all the things. I went to the Fishers of Men. I would buy people pizza. I would go over their house. I'd study with them. I would just butter them up, you know, and they wouldn't even obey the gospel because they were never poor in spirit. They never come to realize that they were in sin and what they believed was a lie. And those people, John, will never be saved. So all I look at is I plant and water, and I am persistent. That's why I've been doing this. When you say patient, sir, I've been doing this for about, I don't know, I've had a YouTube channel for 7 years. That's the patience that I have. So if you'd say, if I wasn't patient, I would have done it for 1 year and give up and said, you know what, if you want to go to hell, go to hell. But I keep doing it week after week. I allow people to call in. I allow them to discuss. I allow them to ask questions. See, in my mind, that's patient. That's being patient with people who are seekers. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah. So that's just the way that I want to explain it. Like TikTok's a different platform. I can't go over their house and go fishing with them, and you know that.
Yeah.
You can't. You lose that relationship building on TikTok. But before you came up, I don't know if you saw, there was a lady, and she actually had the predestination characteristic of poor in spirit. I don't know if you saw that earlier today.
I'm not sure.
Okay, well, she's going to be on my YouTube channel. You should go there and watch it. She said that I'm just saying, this is an example. She said she had not been baptized, and she didn't really know what baptism was for. So when we read Acts 2:38, and I explained to her that they were added to the Church of Christ, she read Acts 2:47, and she's going to contact a local congregation in her area so she can be baptized as soon as possible for the remission of sins. That was a person that was poor in spirit. She had realized what?
Oh man, that's awesome. She got pierced to the heart.
And see, I didn't even have to go fishing with her. I didn't have to tell her my favorite football team was the Vols, because on TikTok it's different. I'm only looking for, I would say, that people that are really searching the Word. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah. But when people come up, and even the ones who get the Bible, and we read the Bible passages, and I allow them a couple times, but when they start just being dishonest, for example, if we read a Bible passage and they say, well, that don't mean that. And you read another Bible passage, well, that don't mean that. John, that person is not who I'm looking for. I just kick them off and move on.
Hey, buddy, I'm going to have to go. My wife, she's sitting right next to me, and she's working phones. So, but
Sorry.
oh, you're good, man. But she has to take a phone call, and she has to be on speaker. So, Take it easy, buddy.
No problem. Yeah, better listen to the boss. That's good wisdom.
See you, buddy.
See you. See you, brother. I appreciate him because he allowed me to express some things that the way that I'm understanding and approaching things. What's up, Aaron?
I just